Hello, I'm Jos van Laar. I'm the father of Amar van Laar. And this is the PhD cap that Amar has. Wow, it's beautiful. I like it. You should do it this way, huh? Because I'm very proud of you as my son.
All right.
Okay, so Amar, can you tell me what kind of medical and health sciences education you did in Maastricht, Wageningen and University of Gent?
Shouldn't you leave it open and...
Okay, Amar, who are you? What's your name?
So my name is Amar.
Okay,
Amar van Laar.
okay. And you studied all kind of medical and health sciences, I think, in
Well,
different places. Huh?
Indeed. So I started at Maastricht University, actually not far from the place we are now.
Yeah,
Um,
Kadir een keer. Yeah.
Indeed. Health sciences, and then more the biomedical part of health sciences. There I already started with getting into nutrition,
Uh-huh.
and I chose to specialize in that even more afterwards.
Uh-huh.
Wageningen.
Uh-huh.
So there I did projects, the pharmacological and also the immunological aspects of nutrition. Was also involved in different research projects. So as
I think beta-glucans and the kind of
as
words and stuff.
some complicated names, but basically I was improving immunotherapy for cancer, for example.
Okay. So can you explain me how can you improve the immune system with food and your research into endocannabinoids and beta-glucans and stuff? How can you improve? Because immunology is now everything, but if you can improve it with nature and food, it's super interesting. So I'm really interested to hear more about it.
So basically, let's start with one basic problem. So about half of the people in the Netherlands are now overweight. That means that in the body there are things changing and you get inflammatory reactions.
Mm-hmm.
That is a problem for health, and people get sick as a result. Contributes to many diseases ranging from cancer to diabetes to cardiovascular diseases. So really a lot. And there are compounds in nutrition that can inhibit that inflammatory reaction and then prevent also in that way development of those diseases. And there are some nutrients that can activate immune cells, such as those specific beta-glucans, as nutritional fibers, for example. So they
Where can you find these fibers in normal food, or do you need them in the lab? Need to make them in the lab? Do you have them in the food? These healthy fibers.
So you have them in food. For example, some types of nutritional yeast, or also some types of mushrooms.
Like shiitake?
Indeed.
Uh-huh.
Indeed. But at this point, what we know is effective are more concentrated fibers. But maybe, if there would also be research in that field, maybe the foods already could make a difference. That's possible.
Okay. You once told me that maybe you could even double the impact of immunology by good lifestyle and good food and modern ways to improve the immunology system. And this was, to me, totally impressive. I couldn't believe it. So you have the impression that we might find out more about the power of food and the power of lifestyle. They even say that 80% of diseases can be prevented, but if you can even use food as a healer, I mean, of course, you can use pharmacology, you can use chemotherapy, you can use radiology for cancer, you can use immunology, you know, you can use laser therapy, And even in my skin cancer, they use even fat to put on your wounds, and then it will heal.
Yeah.
But can you tell us more about the relationship between food and immunology? More specific.
Well, so nutrition can fulfill different roles. One being the preventive role. That's also what I already mentioned. So inflammatory reactions are important cause of disease. And that's something you can prevent also with nutritional compounds that reduce that inflammation, for example.
Okay.
Then nutrition also plays an important part in care and management of diseases, helping people to recover better, for example. And in some cases, like with the metabolic diseases, nutrition is also, especially in combination with the larger lifestyle, sufficient sleep, enough exercise, the best medicine for those metabolic diseases.
Yeah, but what we want to know is how big is the potential effect of lifestyle and food on health and on immunology? Like we want to see numbers and statistics. Of course you cannot tell us this, but what is your impression as a medical and health scientist? How important is food and how important is lifestyle? Regarding cancer and your cancer research in Wageningen. I think, who was your professor? Was it Professor Renger Whitcomb, or what was his name?
So I did one project with Renger Whitcomb.
Professor Renger Whitcomb, yeah, for pharmacology and food in Wageningen, yes.
And the other project with the immunotherapy was Koen Govers.
And he is also into cancer and food.
He's an immunologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what can you say about the effect of lifestyle and food on immunology and on health? What would you say is your impression?
So, what we know is how much you can prevent depends on the disease.
Okay.
If you look at the metabolic diseases, you can prevent over 80% with healthy lifestyle.
Wow.
With the prevention. With cancer, they assume it to be almost half.
50%. And some cancers, of course, more, and some cancers, of course, less. And then also,
especially cancers of the gastrointestinal system are affected by food.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so how did you like your study of food and health and the immunology, improving immunology towards cancer? How did you like your study in Wageningen, your master in health sciences and medical research, relationship food to immunology and to cancer? How did you like it to be there?
I mean, I really like the type of research. So that's something I really like. It's nice to learn from many different experts in a renowned university, and it's also nice that I've been at 3 different places and learned from the expert at 3 different universities. That's also great. And well, University of Wageningen has a lot of good facilities to do research.
Okay. And Maastricht, how did you like Maastricht compared to Wageningen? Your study of health sciences and medical research in Wageningen, also very interested in molecular nutrition already and in the prevention of cancer, I remember. So how did you like your study in Maastricht? Health sciences and, well, medical research into cancer and pharmacology, and you always have been a guy who loves mathematics, you love chemistry, you love biology, and you love medical research. You have a very big passion. So I think you you had in all three universities a great time because you love science.
That's right, but I think it was a really good move to start a bit broader. To start with the understanding of how the body works, how health works, how health systems work, and once you understand that, then you can really start to do something.
Yes, that's what you did in marketing. So, can I ask now a question about Gent, what you did in Gent?
All right.
So I will see if I can find a book. Look, here you have all kind of books that you studied, you know, like pharmacology, cell biology, basic immunology, nutrition and aging, how to prevent and heal cancer, the diabetes and the rare sugars of Hanno Peil, Professor Hanno Peil. Never sick again is of course impossible. Erik Scherder, who tries to keep everybody young with exercise and lifestyle. And then this book, it's called The Metabolic Health Impact of Rare Sugars in Cell Models Simulating the Gut-Liver Axis, Amar Emanuel van Laar, in Gent University with a beautiful harp. And this is all the harmony that needs to happen to prevent all these diseases. So, Amar, when I was in Gent and I saw you with this book and this presentation to your, how many professors? About 9 or 6? Or?
I had two promoters.
Yes.
There were a couple of other different professors, but you're with a jury of about 6.
Because I was nervous because I thought, oh my God, you know, they're going to ask Amar so many hard questions and he will never get his PhD and oh my God, you know. But then the opposite happened, like, you know, you talked about this book. You know, I have a cum laude in preventive medicine myself, you know. I had an institute for preventive medicine myself, you know, for many years with doctors and nutrition scientists and psychologists. But if I was there and I was surprised because it was the opposite, you know. They started to ask you questions as the expert on diabetes and rare sugars and how bad sugar is for our system for many diseases and how much you understand of this healthy sugars that actually can heal us and incredible potential, which is $1 billion industry for the industry. So it's totally stupid if they don't hire you because you are one of the few guys, like a few guys in Japan and a few guys in America who knows about rare sugars, which is the future because sugars is even more important than fats probably for diabetes and for Alzheimer and for chronic disease. Or did I say something stupid about sugars? But I was so impressed, they started to ask you questions. Yeah. Like you are the expert in sugars, in rare sugars. And the medical professors, the food professors, can you, we can have a look at the names. What were the names of your professors? Let me see, it's have Professor John van Kamp. Huh? Can you read it? Professor
John van Kamp, yes.
Yeah. What is his background?
That's my promoter,
yeah,
as well as Charlotte Groothaar. Those are bioengineers, but focused on nutrition.
Fantastic guy, I love this guy. And then you have Dr. Engineer Charlotte Grootaerts.
Indeed.
What is her background?
The same.
Like food technology, safety and health and bioengineering. Yeah. And she's also very much interested in food.
Right. Indeed.
And then you have the examination committee, it was Professor Godelieve.
That's the chair. That's not necessarily an expert on.
But it was Department of Biotechnology, Applied Molecular Genetics, Faculty of Biosciences, Engineering. Okay, because this was actually you became a food engineer in Ghent, in a way.
That as well. That's true. That's true.
Okay, and then you have Professor Ellen Blaak. You know her from Maastricht, I think.
Ellen Blaak is one of the big experts globally on diabetes, on metabolism.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Young
Yeah.
biology.
I once spoke to her. I also studied in master. She is really good. Huh? She's a very good person to for science.
I'm not sure you're speaking of the same
I
person.
spoke with her in Maastricht. Yeah.
Her or someone with a similar name?
No, her.
Okay.
In the Faculty of Health Science, Medicine, Life Sciences. Okay.
No.
So she knows a lot about
Diabetes.
diabetes.
And metabolic diseases.
And then you have Professor Wim de Rave.
Indeed. He's an exercise physiologist, but he knows a lot about the muscle metabolism.
And sugars.
Not necessarily sugars, but
okay.
muscle is really important for control of blood glucose. It's the most important organ actually to regulate blood glucose.
Okay.
So it's good to have an expert on muscle metabolism.
Okay. And then we have
Tom de Smet.
Tom de Smet, yeah. Biotechnology Center of Synthetic Biology.
Tom de Smet is
Faculty of Bioscience, Engineering, Gent.
He is a central person in that research on rare sugars. Because he and his team initiated that project. So they are able to convert just the normal sugars into those rare sugars that you can have, those pure rare sugars, as a product of the common sugars that we have in higher quantities.
Yeah.
So he was actually the one enabling us to do the research.
And did he help you in your PhD in Ghent? Was he a good support?
Definitely.
Okay. And then we have the last, we have Tom van de Wielen.
Tom van de Wielen, yeah.
That's it, and that is Biotechnology Center of Microbial Ecology and Technology.
So basically,
in Ghent.
yes, basically, he was also part of that project actually. And we had two groups who were investigating health aspects of those rare sugars. One was the group of John van Kamp with me, and then one was the group of Tom van de Wielen with Stanley. And I was looking at the effects on the metabolism, and let's say liver, skeletal muscle, intestine, and then the group of Tom van de Wielen was looking at microbiota, both oral microbiota, so in the mouth, as well as the intestinal microbiota, and what is the effect of sugars on that.
Okay, and what, Amar, I was so impressed because all these professors, they saw you as the expert and they started asking you questions. So in the middle, I was standing, not in my shoes, but, I was flying. I'm like, oh my God, Amar is so good, In Maastricht, all 9s and 10 for chemistry, biology, statistics, mathematics, the same in Wageningen and the same in Ghent, all cum laude, fantastic. But I expected that they would give you a hard time, but the contrary, they were asking you questions. How did you feel? Because I was, as a father, also a health scientist, cum laude in Maastricht, and you 3 cum laudes, but in Maastricht, Wageningen and Ghent. But how did you feel when you were there? Did you feel confident, or were you surprised that they have to ask you all the questions and you are the expert and they were just trying to ask you questions instead of that they were asking you the questions?
No, I was confident, first of all, and they did challenge me with questions, especially in the first round, and then the second round. Indeed, they also want to show your expertise. But it is definitely true that in a PhD, if you are working for a couple of years on such a topic, you can become the expert on your topic, and especially with something like rare sugars. I was already the first probably in the world who wrote
Wow.
a
But are you,
extensive
Amar,
review on those health effects.
but how many people are at your level on rare sugars? And rare sugars is a revolution for the food industry. If you can put rare sugars in all these products, and now we make everybody sick with cancer, with diabetes, with obesity, with Coca-Cola, with all that white sugar shit, you know. But you can replace them and put healthy sugars in them. So it's a $1 billion industry. So the nutritional industry is sleeping. They should invest much more. But how many people know as much about rare sugars as you know? You know your colleagues in Japan and in probably in USA, and you know them because you did also a very big literature study what we know about these rare healthy complex sugars that can heal diabetes or help heal diabetes and chronic diseases.
Yeah.
So what can you say about what can you say about
What can I say?
what can you say about how many people know a lot about sugar?
About sugars or rare sugars specifically?
About rare sugars. About your topic that you did. How many people know a lot about it?
Not many. Not many.
A few. So you're in a very unique position about the rare sugars, which is, why don't people understand how important this is? Huh? The rare sugars for the diabetes and for health. Like Professor Hanno Pell, he must also know a lot about rare sugars, doesn't he? He's the diabetes expert in the world, or one of them, you know?
Well, everyone has his own own expertise. I don't think he is an expert at rare sugars.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So is there one last thing you want to say? Like, what is your vision on the future? How you want to proceed? What do you want to do with your study of food and environment? Your vision on the future. What would you like to do? What you would like to do for the world?
So, I think it's interesting to do a couple of things.
Okay.
I think my expertise, I also want to make it more more visible. I like to give advice, which I've already done previously. For example, for the Dutch nutrition guidelines, and I think I'm also doing that more and more already. So advising on health. I like